So it's Danny Flexen here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by legendary former world cruiserweight champion, now obviously a top pundit for Sky Sports, Johnny Nelson. Johnny, how's things?
Good, thank you, Danny. I'm good. Nice to see you again, mate. We've not done something for a while.
Yeah, well, I'm glad we're back doing it. First of all, want to wish you a belated happy birthday. 56,
Old.
I believe.
I'm old. I'm old. And now, can you believe that? I thought you used to think 50 was old, but yeah, man. Thank you. Appreciate that.
But I bet you've had worse birthdays. We found out on Sunday, I think it was, that you've got your MBE from the Royals. I was nearly said the Queen. I'm still getting used to having it.
Okay. You know what?
Amazing. Long overdue, some might say. You must be delighted, though.
I'm delighted. To me, I think it gives credit where the source is. The source is obviously Brendan and the work he's done with us that we've passed on to others. It gives me a chance to have a voice in regards to doing more of Brendan's type of work. I've been going around prisons, I've been going around schools and colleges and businesses doing that sort of stuff, and it's just about mindset. And times have changed now, so it's just about still inspiring others to try and get to try and better themselves. So I think getting the MBE, if I'm honest, I still think someone's going to tap me on the shoulder and say, "Wrong, Johnny, wasn't you, mate?" But I really do appreciate it. But I will make the most of it. It's not something you have and that's done. I will make the most of it and try and do a lot of charitable things, or instigate a lot of charitable things around it.
And have you had any indication yet of when you might be going to the Palace, presumably, to go and pick it up?
No idea. Absolutely no idea. No idea. I think it's March time, something like that. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on a dinner, probably that evening or the day before or after, to launch, to obviously highlight the Brendan Ingle Foundation and also to launch the John Nelson Foundation. And I will do this dinner every year around the same time. I said I'd do that after Brendan passed away, and I thought, what better of an accolade, I think the word is, to do it now as well. And it'd be about inviting people from all walks of life to have one decent night, to have a night of appreciation, and to give ideas, to get people to mix, to say how communities can help other communities, get one or two kids out of school to go there where big people are sitting down getting all dressed up, just doing something nice. And it's just to get the ball rolling. So that's the intention. I just need to get the date and then we'll get this thing rolling.
Oh, great stuff. And you're not in bad nick for 56 either, it's fair to say. I watched you on the old beach volleyball court last year. You were moving around pretty spryly, given your age, so well done.
Wow, you boys.
I believe you've started working with a nutrition company as well. Is it Natural Sports?
Natural Sport, producing our own produce. It's pre and post workout protein drinks, protein powders, and for vegans, clear whey and everything. It's just producing everything. We've got a new collagen that we're pushing out to for men as well as women, and that to me will be a bit of a game changer. So Natural Sports, check it out. And it's actually doing pretty well. It's doing pretty well. We've been working on it for probably about a year and a half now, but it's now finally been launched.
And aside from that, what kind of tips or advice can you give to men, specifically middle-aged? You get to that age, you're not going to the gym maybe as much as you used to, but you want to stay in shape. How have you done it?
Once you stop moving, you stop grooving. What I'm saying is, once you stop doing things start to wake, and when they start to wake, you can't do even worse. So all of a sudden, when you're walking down the street, you see someone that's walking, and he looks a bit old, and you think, well, why have you got like that? You've got like that because you stopped doing things, you stopped being as active. You don't have to go for a mad run, a mad hike. Go for a walk. Just try and get your steps in. And that's it. Just try and get your movement. Even if you're doing a minimum of probably, on average, most of us do about 7,000 to 8,000 steps a day, right, on average. If you can just try 10,000 steps a day, minimum, at least you're keeping yourself in the ballpark of staying relatively fit. If you want to step it up and go further, then make sure you get to the gym 3 days a week. But what I'm saying is, if not everybody has time to go to the gym, not everybody has time to or that motivation to do something. Keep moving, because if you don't, all of a sudden, it's hard to turn the clock back.
Now, moving on to boxing matters, as I'm sure you knew would happen, we've got a big fight coming up on Sky Sports. A lot of people already talking about it. Sky Sports box office, in fact. Chris Eubank Jr. and Liam Smith. I believe you recently filmed The Gloves Are Off between the two of them. So you're in the best place to ask, how genuine, how deep is the antipathy between the two men?
The one thing about The Gloves Are Off is this. If you're faking it, and I'm asked afterwards, I'll tell them, no, that wasn't for real. So any fighters that come on that show to do the show, they know they've got to be authentic. They know there's no fake business going on there, because I'll say it, you can see straight through it. And it's not, it doesn't do you any good, doesn't do me any good, doesn't do the public any good. If it's respectful, it's respectful, but don't fake some kind of bad hype. With Eubank and Smith, there's no fake there. There's respect there. Smith is very honest in saying, I can't lose to you. To you? I can't lose to you. That's me done. Now, and that's trust me, that you can see the spike, the snipe, as if to say, do you ever think you could do that to me? But timing is everything. I think Liam Smith is and has been the better fighter. Liam Smith is and has been a better fighter. Now he's not that fighter he was, so he's coming down, and right now he's meeting Chris. So now the fight's a lot more even than what people really think. But Liam has the knowledge, the ability, the skill, and everything and what's up there, the experience to beat Chris. Chris hasn't got that to beat Liam. And so again, it's a case of time and everything. Liam's got an amazing engine. He's amazingly fit. He plays the game perfectly. He's got it off to a T. It's not just about being a good boxer. It's about being a whole package. Chris has got that off to a T. So where's the longevity? There'll probably be more longevity in Chris winning than it would be in Liam. That might not go down too well. The reason being is because Chris is a character. You love him or loathe him. And I'm quite sure he can create that vibe, that animosity with any fighter. Liam's a nice guy. He's a family man. He's a good man. And unfortunately, good guys come second. Everybody loves to hate a villain. And so it would probably benefit if Chris won, because the story goes on. The debate goes on around him. With Liam, he's a nice guy that can fight. So commercially, you've got to weigh up. Commercially, which one's character is going to stand out above the others? And I believe that'll be Chris's.
How do you think Chris will be affected, if at all, by the cancellation of the fight with Conor Benn? Not just the fact that he hasn't fought for ages, but also just the whole emotional roller coaster he's been on.
I don't think it affects him. I don't think it affects him at all. It's give him a platform to take the moral high ground. I don't think it affects him at all. We will never know how the fight would have affected him getting down to the weight. What we do know is Chris is ridiculously fit. And so I think on a physical side, even though he says 60% baby and all this sort of stuff, trust me, he's going in there to give it his all. And so I think for Chris, I don't think there will be any effect at all. I don't think it'll make any difference at all.
And just tell people out there, because there are skeptics about its position on a box office platform, why is this a pay-per-view fight in your opinion?
Okay, it's a pay-per-view fight because of this. And it's like any sport. If you've got two top sportsmen and you want to see them perform, they want to get paid. The money's got to come from somewhere. It's got to come from somewhere. Where's the money coming from? You can't say, I want to see this fight, that fight. So now the promoters are going to have a gamble and say, all right, then we're going to put this together. We're going to make it pay-per-view. So someone's going to be saying, nah, it's all about, I'm not taking that as pay-per-view. Well, don't buy it. Wait for a week after and watch it for free. Or I personally think people are buying it because they want to see it. Where else is the money coming from? How are people supposed to get paid? You know, there's a certain amount of money in a pot, from my humble beginnings. There's a certain amount of money in the pot. But when you're talking a big chunk, you know, then everybody, you're going to contribute. And why is it boxing? Boxing's the only sport that gets that kind of stick. What about those premier players? You've got millionaires running around the pitch. Where's the money come from? So the money's coming from somewhere, and it's generated because of eyes on the prize. So all those people that are watching it are somehow paying towards my man's money, my man's wage. So that's what it is. If you want the best and you want to see the best, you've got to pay for the best.
It's a very good point. Now, I watched your IFL interview, kind of in preparation for this, loath as I am to watch a competitor. And you were asked who is your promoter of 2022. And I wasn't surprised you went for Eddie Hearn because you're associated with Boxer and Sky, but more due to the general perception is that he's had better years. You know, he's done all right, but the as we said, Eubank Ben fell through. There hasn't been that kind of marquee fight we're used to. You've got Frank Warren selling out stadiums with Fury. You've got Boxer making big strides. Brooke Khan early in the year, of course. What was your justification? Why do you feel Eddie Hearn picked those guys at the post?
Okay, I think Ben Shalom has got to earn his stripes to get there. And it'd be so stupid and biased of me to say, Ben. Ben hasn't, he's not been around the mill enough to actually, he's in the race, but he's not a front runner. Frank Warren was at one point the best arena promoter out there, the best promoter in the world. He slipped. He simply slipped. Eddie Hearn, you name me one promoter, boxing promoter, that is as much of a character for his fighters and for himself individually. Now he's got a massive ego. And he doesn't mind the stick. He doesn't mind the flack. He doesn't mind that comes with it. He can hold it. He'll laugh with a tramp. He'll dine with a king, you know, and he'll speak to everybody, anybody. And the boy, I've known Eddie from 10 years old. I've known this man. He's immersed in boxing. Don't think he doesn't know boxing because he does. His dad was Eddie back then. His dad had run rings out Eddie now. Eddie's got character. You know, and if he's got your back, he's got your back. If he hasn't got your back, he can be a big baby and try and tell tales or try and say it wasn't me, it was him. So there's a good and a bad with Eddie. But if he's your man, he's your man. If you're his man, you're his man, and he's gonna look out for you. But he's a businessman. His work ethic is ridiculous, and I think, and ever since I've now thought, you know what, you're wasted being rich, man. You know, but he's a character. And it's the characters that stand out. And he knows that, and he plays that game. Some people take it personally if you talk about him personally. You don't play the game. What's up, some of this? And he will talk. He's probably the best salesman out there. He's great at his job. But he's going to burn out soon, man. You can't keep doing that. You can't. Eventually, he's been doing it. He's been on top for so long. And my man's 1,000 miles an hour. I rate him. But I just think, how long can he keep up for? But as long as that's my opinion of why I think he's the best promoter in the world, because the top promoter, because I think this guy has gone worldwide. He's not gone national, he's gone international. From Australia to Mexico to the States, or all over the place. How many people do that? How often do you see Frank do that? How often do you see Ben do that? How often do you see, I don't know. You know, so you've got to give credit where credit's due. So now people are confused, thinking, well, you're a Sky man. Eddie's not Sky. All right. So, okay, is Eddie hasn't offered me no job. He doesn't give me no backhanders. I'm saying what I see. It's fact. And regardless if you agree with me or not, you've got to agree with that, man. Come on. You've got to look at this thing. Well, he's got a point. Fucking hate saying it, but yeah, he's got a point. That's just how it is.
Yeah, I think for me, it was more that it was 2022. I thought he'd had better years. I thought Frank had a really good year. Ben had a good year. So I'm not saying Eddie's not the top promoter currently overall.
So what are you looking at? Are you looking at are you looking at him as the whole package, or are you looking at the shows he's put on? Because if you're looking at, so you've got to think so if you look at the whole package, it's Eddie. You can debate this show, that show, this show, but you've got to look at the whole package. Him as an individual, him as the shows that are being put on, and then you might say, "Oh, on the quality of the shows and this, that, and that." But you've got to look at the whole package. So when the question is asked, the devil's in the detail.
It's fair enough. No, you've justified it well, Johnny. I'm not going to say I agree with you necessarily, but I can't
Nobody
argue
wants
too
to agree.
much.
That's what I'm saying. You can't. Listen, a lot of people won't agree with it, but I just think that's how it is. And you know what? I rate Ben. I rate Ben Shalom, and I know he's got the years to come. I've seen him all. As long as he sticks at it, gets his job done, keeps his head down eventually, he might be in that position. Frank Warren was that guy at one bit. That's how it is. It's just a pyramid of life.
Have you heard from Ben since the interview? Has he said anything?
He probably forgot. He probably forgot. And he'll see this.
Let's hope he doesn't watch this then.
Listen, I rate Ben. I think he's got a good work ethic. He's young. He's happy to go against the grain. He's not scared of the big boys. And that's what Eddie was like when he first came on the scene. That's what Frank was like when he first came. I'm old enough now to see. I've seen all these guys when he came on the scene, on the scene when the establishment was against him, to try and close ranks against them. It's happened to Frank. It's happened to Eddie. Now it's happening to Ben. So Ben, your time will come.
Fair enough. Now I want to ask you about a couple of heavyweights before we round off. Tyson Fury, Alexander Usyk. In your view, and I know you're not directly involved, but does it happen next?
I can't see why not. And I'm quite sure Usyk needs that time to prepare right. That's what he does. That's the kind of fighter he is. Usyk, he's very calculated in what he's doing to say this fight could happen. Tyson Fury, I will probably say on paper, Usyk is the best fighter, the most qualified fighter he's been in with. But I do believe that Tyson Fury has the beating of Alexander Usyk. I think he's a good big one. He might not be as smooth, might not be as slick as Usyk, but I think Tyson Fury, I think he beats him.
And then we've got Anthony Joshua, who is currently, as far as we know, still searching for a new training team. But there's been talk about who he's going to face in the spring. Apparently, it's not going to be Dillian White now. They're trying to save that for the summer. All they've said is a top 15 opponent. Who would you like him to face? Who do you think is a good kind of next opponent for AJ?
Okay, so AJ's been at the top of his tree, former world champion. So who do you pick? Do you pick a young gun upcoming, like a Joe Joyce? Or you put him in with you give a kid a chance like a Daniel Dubois. That's a bums on seat kind of fight for us here in the UK. And they're good, dangerous, risky fights. But on paper, you'd expect AJ to have the better of them. So it still keeps his dominance there to think, you know what, we've got to respect this man because he just turned over this young gun coming through. Or just want to push over, which isn't really going to make any difference. It's not going to really make any difference because he's just not somebody out that's probably, that's really not established, not a threat, not potentially there. He's got to prove that he still belongs at the top. So to box anything less than someone near the top, then what are you proving? What are you showing? I personally think AJ should spend time in the gym and with whoever he settles with for about a year. I know people are saying he's too old to be spending so much time out of the ring. He's in the gym. I'm not saying go on holiday and lay on the beach for a year. I'm saying get in the gym, get comfortable with a new gym environment, a new smell, a new set of rules, new conditioning, and it just to re-trigger that mindset. Because again, like I said out in Saudi, like I've been saying all the way through, AJ's hurting. And AJ is in a position now. He's thinking, "What do I do?" Because he's a rich man. He don't have to fight. So what's the motivation now? And so, he needs to be motivated. He needs to want to do it. He needs to want to do it. If you need to do it, it creates two different types of fighters. If you want to do it, again, that creates a different type of father. If he wants to commit himself to training and getting all the shit from negative people that are saying shit about him or commenting on him, then you want to do it, because he doesn't need to do that. He can walk away and live happily. So this is what he needs to create in this time out of the gym. He's got to create a real want, and if he does that, that's his way back to the top. Because he doesn't need it.
And just finally, it's slightly delicate, and I don't want to get into any rumours and that side of things, but I think there are fans out there who are genuinely concerned. You know Adam Smith as well as anyone. I mean, I know him pretty well, but not as well as you. Can you reassure people that he's okay, or as well as can be?
Adam's okay. Adam's okay. As far as I know, Adam's okay. That's it. So I think give Adam his personal space, give Adam his time to sort out his business, and then move on from there.
Brilliant, Johnny. Really appreciate that. I'm sure a lot of people will as well. Let's do this again soon.
Anytime. Take care.
Cheers, mate, and you.